I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water.
What's up, everybody? This is the Offscouring Odyssey, back with episode 9. And today we have a friend of mine from high school. His name's Brendan Cooke. He's also the owner, CEO of Brendan Productions. And he attends Chapman University in California. Very great guy. He knows his stuff with the field he's in. He's built a business from the 0 to 100, ground up. He's worked with some big name people. I want you guys to take what you can from this, hear his story and experiences, and flourish from it, grow from it, use it the best way you can. And yeah, what's up, Brendan? How you doing, brother?
What's up, Bobby? I'm glad to be here.
Hey, man, I'm glad to be here as well. Thank you for coming on. It means a lot, man.
Of course.
Now, you're someone who intrigued me a lot, right? I actually reached out to you about the podcast early on, right? And
yeah, very early.
Very early. Like when I first started doing this.
Yes.
And because when we were in high school, you came out with Brendan Productions. And so what you do is he makes videos for what? Any like events, people in general, graduations. So what is your business exactly? Give us a rundown on what you operate and what you're about.
Should I start with how I started the business?
Yeah, start, because you started in high school, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so start how you got into videography and just grow from there. How'd you evolve?
Okay. So it all started pretty much in 3rd grade. It actually started pretty early.
Wow, okay.
I got my first iPhone, and using the little iMovie app, I started making little videos here and there. And that's when I started to really fall in love with it. And then when I first got my first camera in middle school, I started like experimenting with videos early on.
And what type of videos were you working with early on? What were you making?
Just like some compilation videos of vacation or just anything. I would just go out and try to just shoot anything. It really started with a YouTube channel where I posted some cringy stuff, but that's how I started, just falling in love with just making videos.
And it never felt like a job at all? Like you always like loved it so much that you just did it for the fun of it?
Yeah, it started off with a passion. When I started out, I didn't even know that I can make money from it.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is definitely one of the things that I'm lucky to have because it was a passion starting out.
Hey man, not many people find their passion early on, so it's blessed that you found it really early.
Yeah. So
yeah.
To transition now, after I got the love for it and started improving, one of my mom's friends needed a video done for her daughter's Sweet 16 party.
And what time range is this?
This was probably freshman year in high school.
Okay.
So yeah, that's when it pretty much started. After that, I was so excited because it was the first time I actually got paid for doing a video. I think I got paid like $50 or something. And I thought I was rich.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it was your first grasp of money doing what you love.
Yeah, and after that, I never looked back. I just started doing mostly Sweet 16 parties. That was my first niche. And then I was able to transition into sports or anything else. Because when I started doing my passion projects, I was just shooting whatever.
And what type of cameras are you using when you first started doing the Sweet 16s and you transition into the sports a little? What's the equipment you're using? Yeah,
so I was able to make enough money to get my first camera. Well, the first camera that I did have was a little DSLR that my mom got from one of her friends.
Okay.
And then when I used the money to buy a new camera that I could actually start building my business with. And that was at the end of freshman year. And after that, it was pretty much...
Now, the business, as you're talking about, Brendan Productions, is that what you, right when you did the Sweet 16 and when you're in the Sweet 16 era, freshman year, is that when you came up with the idea to make Brendan Productions?
Yes, that's exactly what happened. I started doing more and more jobs for people, and the word of mouth was spreading, and I was starting a business. So my parents sat down with me, and they helped me create an LLC for my business and make it legit.
Well, hey, man, yeah, because like you said, word spread by mouth, but everyone in South Jersey knew about you. You were doing stuff for everyone from different schools, a wide variety of content you were doing.
Yeah.
At what point did you realize, wow, this is getting around, this is people are hearing about this, I'm getting momentum? When did the wheels start turning and you saw progress and results from your work you put in?
So luckily, I never really had that moment where it was oh, all these people are watching me now. It I started off with 400 followers on my Instagram page, maybe freshman year in high school.
Yeah.
And by the end of my sophomore year, I had 6,000 followers.
Wow.
So,
in a year.
yes, but luckily it was all gradually. I was just doing hit after hit, and I saw the growth. But at one point, I did hit a spike from 6,000 to 8,000 pretty quickly. But I'm just really grateful for it, and it's really helped me keep going because I'm able to see who actually engages and likes different content. But yeah.
Well, it's not like the content you're producing is like your average like videography content like you start out with. You started out with like a pretty solid like base. You never went from like I said, you did start the business from the ground up, but the quality of your videos, I felt like never really like started out very low. You started out high for the quality of your videos, I felt like, and you shot it in a very distinct way. What made your videos stand out from other videographers at the time? Because you're still young, you're still learning, but you're so far ahead than early individuals within your field. What did you do so differently that made your videos stand out more to people?
I think very early on, I knew that this passion could be something that I could be very good at. And I think just the love of it, me wanting to learn more, has put me ahead, especially starting early on, starting in middle school. I remember I'd be in my room for hours just learning new tutorials. I'm basically all self-taught. Yeah. So I go to college now. I'm in my first year of college, but I've started this very early on. And the only way I was able to get to the place that I am now today is just through learning from my mistakes and really taking it serious, always trying to be better.
Better like your content and better yourself in that field, right?
Literally anything that pertains to videography, I'm able to just improve on it.
So it sounds like you're very obsessive. Like it's a very obsessive like trait of yourself, videography.
Yes.
How many like hours do you think you would put in like on a monthly basis to just learning? Like because you have school at the time, you have a relationships you have to keep up on, like friends. Like how much time were you really putting into like all the videography and media at the time?
So
like early high school, I'd say.
Yeah. So just to backtrack real quick, I kind of split my social media side of my videography, which is like more passion projects, and my business side where I'm doing more like corporate work, where I'm doing like an advertisement for a company.
For more like professional and business standpoint.
Yeah. I will post that stuff on my social media, but most of my social media highlights more energetic videos that I'm targeting for teens and kind of people my age while I'm working with far older clients and all that. I'm mixing it in together just to preface that. Sorry, what was the question again?
So how much, like I said, you were very obsessive. How much time were you putting into the videography early on?
Yes. Okay, so the passion projects, I was able to really expand on them and do what I want. And that's how I learned a lot of my just skills early on, because I would be shooting every week, and just the repetition would help me grow.
Consistency.
Yeah. And my business side would help me increase my marketing skills, communication, everything. I believe that I got to the place that I am right now just because of my repetition, and I get to keep on doing that on a weekly basis, and eventually
it just grew and kept compounding. I remember like even early on, you shot in a video before. Remember me and Sam Christian?
Yes.
You've shot like I know you do those like early on. You did those little projects, and now like fast forwarding, I could see like those little things, like over time, those small successes made you accomplish in a very long-term way. Yeah. So I see now like what those projects were exactly. When you talked about like the audience, so like you had an audience for like your passion, like the little projects you work on, then you had like corporate business, like big time, like advertisements. Is there certain ways you'd project, like you'd make a video for a certain audience? So say if like, you know, the audience is like teenagers, like our age kids at the time in high school, and then there was an audience for like the advertisements or corporate businesses, like you would advertise older individuals. How did you present your videos? Like, was there a difference between the two kinds of videos you would put out there, or were they similar, like genres of videos, you'd say?
It's very much different.
Yeah.
So, one of my business's most successes, it's diversity.
Okay.
It's not like I'm just doing weddings every weekend, sports, or just like corporate work. I'm able to do it all, and it gets me more work. But it's very hard to do because you kind of have to be good at everything.
Yeah, all around good.
Yeah, and when I make a video, it has to fit the vibe, and it has to be targeted for something. Usually, I do have that target, whether it's sports or corporate. Corporate's going to ask for something way different than a flashy video on my Instagram may look like.
So you either structure it differently, I presume, right?
Yeah.
Is there ever a time where you're like, oh my God, don't know how to do that? Like, is there ever sometimes like when a business will come to you and like you take the deal and you're like, oh, like I don't know what to do here. So it's almost like another learning, like a stepping stone for you in that specific way to shoot a video. Has there ever been a time like that where you're stuck in the mud and you don't know what to do?
Yeah, there's definitely, there's always going to be those times where I'm like, can I do this? But at the end of the day, I know that I can because just all of my experience in the past, just because something isn't exactly the same, I can kind of still use skills from a different project and use it here.
Like you can spread it around, see what you take from one structure and use it in another.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm usually confident in my work. I shot my first real estate video last week.
In Margate, right? Is that what it was? I noticed that.
Yes. And I was excited to get into real estate. I've never done it. All I did was do a little bit of research before I went out and shot. Looked at a couple of YouTube videos, researched, and used people as inspiration. And I was able to do it pretty easily. So,
well, that connects to something I personally think is very interesting. When I look at like movies, I don't know if you know much about like, is it cinema, I'd say, and like movie directing. They will like set stuff up to portray a different outcome to the audience, to like make them feel a certain way or like make them focus in on something specific, like the way they actually shoot it. So like, say like, I know Tarantino does it a lot. But say like the one movie, it's an army movie, I think it is, and the camera doesn't stop at once. The whole entire movie, it's consistently like moving, and that's supposed to portray a certain like expression from the film to the audience.
yes.
Do you ever do similar aspects like that with your work, where like you can maybe shoot at a certain angle so people see this part of the video rather than a different perspective of it? Do you use that in your film?
Yeah. So whenever I make a film, it's always trying to make the best of the event or whatever video I'm shooting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always trying to make it look the best. So pertaining to angles and the way I shoot, maybe the client will ask, oh, make it look like there's a lot of people here. So I'll be focused in on more people, and I'll make it look like there's way more people here than there actually are. Just so those little things I'm able to do, which I've learned over the time.
Yeah.
But
I feel like that's huge in that field.
Yeah. But I'm planting a lot of things into my videos, especially when I'm working with clients. They'll be like, "Oh, I need this brand. I need this. I need that," and that pertains to literally anything. So, like a birthday party, they'll be like, "Oh, I need the grandmother in here. I need this person. I need this person."
Specific people in the video. Okay. So
or different, like, just things that are there.
Okay.
Just so, like, those things, I'm always just planning and trying to just tell a story using that.
And I assume they have to tell you this prior, right? Because I know when you go in, like, for people to see you do your work, you're on top of what you're doing. You know what you have to do. You know how to execute it. Like, when a client approaches you, they have to inform you about all this prior, right? Nothing.
Yes.
Is there anything they can really say to you in the moment, like when you're about to shoot it? Like,
yes, I do have last minute,
like questions.
last minute, directions, and those are the hardest to execute. But I feel like when you're working under pressure, you're just able to do anything. So I try to do them the best for the clients. But,
yeah. How often are you under that much pressure in the moment?
It depends, because I've shot a significant amount of Sweet 16 parties, and when I go to them and record them, I'm not under that much pressure because I know exactly what I need to do.
You're so used to it.
But there's some sort of pressure when I'm at like a wedding and the bride and me are gonna kiss, and I need to get that exact moment, and if I don't, I'm kind of screwed.
Yeah.
So there's different jobs that bring on different pressures. Like, am I gonna get the shot? But if I just prepare before, and I know I have the skills, so I'm usually good.
Do you think you're better prepared or better under pressure? What do you think is best for yourself?
I think it's both because I can be as prepared as much as I want to be. There's been instances where I've just been put under pressure where I'm working with a limited amount. So there's just a lot of pressure in my job field.
And is it just yourself with all this pressure? Like, do you have a team around you working with you with Brendan Productions and everything you're involved with? Or is it just you going into all these events and business operations? Like, is it just you single-handedly, or do you have a whole team behind you doing this stuff?
Well, I'd like to say that I have a team. First off, my parents help a lot. They help with scheduling, and my dad's my manager, so he helps a ton. When I wasn't 18, he used to fly all over the United States with me, because I was just underage and my mom wouldn't let me.
Yeah, because I know, like, in high school, you were on the move at all times. I feel like you were a busy man, like more than the average high school individual. So you were like, your dad was helping you out with all that behind the scenes and everything. So you can keep going though.
Yeah. So they've just been a big help, and I also have a couple of videographer friends in New Jersey that help me out too. Say if I am booked like three overbooked for a weekend, I'll just say, hey, are you able to shoot this for me? And I've already sat down with them, and they know like what I want and how I want it, and they're able to do it. And I just send them out, and then I take the footage back and edit it or send it to someone else.
And are you giving them a portion of what if they're coming out doing your work, you give them a portion, I'm sure?
Yes, yes, that's how it works.
And you've taught these people how to shoot it your way?
If I need to teach them, I'll teach them if they don't know how to, but most of these people are already skilled. I have a network of people who are already skilled as well as me. So
damn, man, not many people are at that level at your age, you know?
Yeah.
You have a whole team behind you.
Yeah.
Now, what are some of the biggest projects you've done? Because I know you have worked with like Jamie Foxx, correct? And like NFL players. Have you worked with Quavo?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that in one of your videos. Like, what are some of the biggest projects you have worked on?
So recently, like you said, I've worked with Quavo and Waka Flocka at a concert, which was really like pretty cool because I was backstage with them.
Yeah.
And Quavo was like 2 feet in front of me.
And were you talking to him? Like, were you able to talk at all?
I didn't really talk that much. He wasn't really talkative. Also, he had a lot of security around him. It was like intimidating. But it was pretty cool. I've been able to shoot with so many people. I did my first fashion show in New York City, which was amazing. I was like right there, front and center,
with all them walking by you. And what do you do the video for them?
Yeah. But fashion show in New York City, or Fashion Week in New York City, is really big. So I was really glad I was able to do that too. I've shot for different speakeasies and different like companies in New York City. I've also gone down to Miami. I shot two Super Bowls, one in Miami, one in Tampa, and one in LA too.
Wow!
So I've shot all the 3 recent Super Bowls.
How are the Let's talk about that a little bit. How are the Super Bowls? Because like you said, I didn't even know you did the most recent in LA. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
How's the environment, and how do you execute the Super Bowl videos? Because I know there must be a lot that goes into those specifically, because the whole country's tuning into the Super Bowl. It's a very, very big event.
Yeah.
So, like, what's the little rundown about how you execute the Super Bowl videos?
So, basically, I don't actually go to the actual Super Bowl. I video the celebrity parties that the city is in. So, whenever Super Bowl comes to a city, celebrities are going to want to party.
Always.
And there's always some sort of event, or whether it be charity or something. There's always something going on. So, I just fly to the city, and I'm able to pick up a lot of work. So my first Super Bowl.
Well, what goes on? Like, how do you just go down there and pick up work? Like, are you connecting to people down there?
So basically how I got into it, like I was saying, I was working in New York City a lot, and I was working with so many companies, and they just do promotional stuff for their investors. And one of those events is going to be the Super Bowl. So they host an event at a mansion somewhere for their investors, and I'm there to record it. So I basically transitioned from New York City, and I'm able to take that to
with all
other
the connections you've gained from there.
Yeah.
Okay, so what goes on? So after you settle down, you get down there. Wait, what'd you say, Vin?
I have a question. Yo, so like,
All right, you go.
so like, when you go to these events, like I'm still in the Super Bowl. When you go to these events, is there any like copyright issue where like they're like, oh, if you film me as a celebrity, I own the stage?
Yeah, let me restruct that so the audience. So, question Zach had behind the scenes was when you're at these Super Bowl events, like when you videotape a celebrity or a certain individual, is there copyright like rules and like guidelines you have to follow when you do shoot these people?
So working with celebrities is very, very, very tricky.
In what way? Why do you say tricky?
They usually have their managers come before they get there, and there's a whole team like directing me the whole entire time and making sure that I'm okay, because these celebrities, if you piss them off in the wrong way, they may,
Get you out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you have a whole celebrity mad at you. They're gonna try to do something. So there's always a list of people who are like, don't really stand around this person too long, or you're like that stuff. Like,
really? People prepare you, and you know what to do. Like before you head in there.
Yeah,
Wow.
and I have a list of people's faces and things like that. It's a whole thing. So the actual copyright of someone's face, not really. That's not really a thing. But when I am working with these celebrities, just regular copyright matters, because if I put like a edit to like Drake with like Quavo and like Waka Flocka, it may get some attention. So,
and what has there ever been times where you have gotten that attention? You've had to like switch the song in a video or edit, like that's happened many times?
When it gets too much traction, Instagram removed a couple of my videos.
Wow.
So.
And what do you do? Just remake the video with a different song?
Yeah, that's usually what I do. But for when I'm working commercial, I never use I never use copyright songs. It's only for my own work.
It's a smarter way.
Anyway. Yeah.
So tracing back to the Super Bowl, because I had a question I wanted to ask about that, but I honestly lost my train of thought. So coming back to the Super Bowl, how do you go about it after you go to the location? You secure like a couple like after parties or events that you're going to attend. What goes on after that portion, like where you've situated that part of the trip?
Okay, so you're saying like what do I actually do when I get there?
Yeah.
Okay. So my first Super Bowl, I got there, shot my first event at a speakeasy bar, which there were 50 NFL players there. The ones who didn't make it into the Super Bowl, though.
Okay.
It was for a sports agency, and usually NFL players fly out to the city anyway to see their friends and party anyway. So it's basically like, oh, okay, one night I got to go to my sports agency event, and they host it for them, and everybody's there. And it was pretty cool because there's like,
I bet
50 athletes there.
Yeah, and like us standing around, you're a tall guy. How big are these people to you? Like the NFL guys?
So they're like 6'6", 6'7", like
monsters.
Yeah, they're huge, and I look so little compared to them. But yeah, they're insane to like just stand next to
and be around. Yeah, the environment's probably like, how like when you're in that like state of mind and like those certain events, how's the environment around you? Like you're the guy recording everything, you're getting like the video you got to get, but you're not the one like partying and all. Like what's going on in there? How's the environment for your perspective, like shooting everything? Like are you able to, not even gonna ask that because you're not 21, but drink and all, like how's the environment for you on your end of the spectrum there?
Well, they're able to enjoy the party, but I'm working obviously. And it's not like I'm not able to enjoy it because I'm still there at a $50 million mansion on a Super Bowl night. But it's different for me because it's not like I'm a celebrity too. So just being around celebrities and being able to work and I when I leave these events, I'm very excited, and it's not like, oh, it's work. It's like I get to do this.
This is like your life.
Yeah.
This is like your life.
Yeah.
Now, from the Super Bowl videos to the other like big events, what is your favorite one you've done? Like, what's the biggest project and your favorite project you've personally done?
I'd have to think about
You
this.
can think about it, brother. You can think about it. Take your time. Take your time. Because you've worked with a lot of people. I know you. Like, you do have a lot of experiences. Even if it's just like 3 of them, we'll talk about 3 of them. Like, it's up to you.
Okay. I really liked my second Super Bowl in Tampa, only because I went right from Tampa to LA right after it. It was a fun trip.
Why'd you go right to LA right after it?
Because I had to quarantine for my high school, and instead of just quarantining at home, I just went to LA.
Wow, that's a story, huh? Yeah, it must have been nice.
Yeah. I was like, they made me take 2 weeks off.
Really? Just because you were there for quarantine?
I went to Tampa, and they're like, hey, you can't come back for 2 weeks.
Well, we were in school at the time, right?
Yeah.
For the Tampa Bay one? So our school that told you couldn't come back?
Yeah.
So you just went to LA?
Yeah. And then I came back.
You don't hear that often. You don't hear that often.
But that was a fun trip because right after Tampa won in Tampa, they stormed the city, and I went into the city and I was partying with them. Yeah, they went crazy.
How was that? That was nuts.
It was literally nuts, like nothing I've ever seen before.
What were they doing? What was going on?
It was like a takeover over the whole city. Cars were jam packed, and like everybody was in the streets.
Weren't people climbing poles and all too? I saw that in your one video.
Yeah, they were doing they were doing some stuff.
What was the one thing? I think it was when you were at Tampa. Didn't you get in trouble for flying a drone?
Oh, that also was the trip that I got. I got a big fine.
Oh, you got a big fine as well.
Yeah. It came 2 years later.
Wow. And this was for the Tampa trip?
Yeah.
What was the fine for?
It was for flying near the Super Bowl.
That was it.
It was like unrestricted space, but it was only up for like 20 seconds, and I realized it was unrestricted. Then I brought it down, but they still gave me a fine.
How much drone work do you do? I know I saw that in the real estate video as well. You had the drone.
Yeah.
You're a big drone guy. What like dragged you into using drones as a part of your videography, and like what about it intrigued you?
So I got my drone because I saw amazing footage from it, and I was like, I need this. This looks cool. And when I got it, I used it instantly, and I was able to use it ever since. And it just adds like another layer to my video because I'm able to just get an aerial.
Yeah, not many people have that.
Yeah, and it adds like value to my production. So I use it a lot, and it's actually a really good tool.
I feel like for you, especially, it's because the way you shoot your videos. I don't know if there's like a specific structure on how you do it, like how we were talking about earlier. But like the way you use the drone shots, it almost looks like it flows with the way you do the video. Like usually when people have a drone shot, it's just like goes in the video and you notice it. But yours, it's almost like the camera's just flowing and it just happens to go to the drone. Like you shoot it very well and edit it very well. So I give you all props to that, man.
Thank you. Yeah. Most of people just go stationary with their drone or get some okay footage, but I actually like work on my flying for the drone and try to get it? Yeah, I practice it and I try to get different angles and make it look cool.
How hard was it with the drone?
How hard is it to like
learn and find the angles, like practicing
It's hard to learn. After so many years of flying it, I'm able to say like, oh, I'm not gonna crash, but getting the actual angle, it may take a couple tries or two because it's just kind of hard to just do the sticks.
Yeah, like you're not holding the camera. It's on a drone. Like you have to do it remote controlled, I suppose, right?
Yeah.
How expensive are the drones? And how much of a toll does like money play a factor with all the media production? Because I know like cameras, like all that equipment you do use is expensive. Like was that ever a problem with you starting out with your Brendan Productions business?
It was really never a problem because I was able to buy my first camera from a camera that I got lent.
Mm-hmm.
And then ever since then I was just able to reinvest, not spending too much of the money that I make. And I was able to just, keep on buying slowly. Like,
Yeah.
this doesn't happen overnight. I was able to just buy it slowly, and I was able to get everything that I have. Drones are expensive, though.
Yeah, I know. Like, I know they're like $2,000, like a lot of them, right? And that's
Yeah.
just for like a decent one.
Yeah.
At what stage did you like see like I'm making so much money from this? I'm gaining a lot of like progression, momentum, like because you were at school during this entire time. Was there ever a moment you were like, maybe I shouldn't go to college and focus on my business? Because the school is Chapman University, right?
Yeah.
It's known for a very big film school, correct, in California. What made you choose college right out the gate of high school when you had a steady business going on, like a foundation of a company that you personally owned? What went through your head with like the college decision making in that time?
So it's actually funny because I was gonna actually be a computer science major
Oh wow,
in college.
totally different, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I was deciding that or film school, so I was applying to schools for computer science, and then I was applying to colleges for film school.
Okay.
And then basically I decided after I got into all my schools, and I saw that Chapman University gave me a scholarship for film, and it was kind of a no-brainer. I was able to, I got really lucky and I got blessed. So I couldn't really turn down that. It was just a no-brainer.
Because you were telling me, I remember senior year, you were telling me how like the school was like very, very known for film, correct?
Yeah,
And
it's
just like
number 3 in the country for film production.
And what like your portfolio just like outstanding, I assume, to them, right?
Yeah. So I was thinking about going my own way and not going to college, but the opportunity was so good that I just took it. But yeah, wait, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
I was just talking about how like, I lost my train of thought. How like when you went to your portfolio, how's your
Yes, my portfolio.
Yeah.
So early on, I was kind of just making a large portfolio for college. Early on, I knew that my parents knew that it could actually help for getting into college, and it did.
A lot.
Just from working for different businesses every week. And I did a lot of free stuff starting out.
Starting out like with the video photography?
Yeah.
How did you balance out like school with it when you had all like these events on the weekend? Like, was school ever an issue with like the business you were running at the time, or no?
It was never really an issue because my mom always told me that I had to put school first.
Yeah.
And, as long as I did my work, I was able to do the things I was doing, like just flying to Florida for the weekend and then coming back for school week.
Yeah. You're flying different states, working like.
But it would just be like a lot of me doing homework at the airport, on the plane, and then at night sometimes. But
it was worth it, man.
Yeah, it was definitely worth it.
How many times do you think you traveled during like senior year to go shoot projects?
It was getting a kind of a problem because I was in the like 20s or 20s for absences.
Goodness.
Yeah, so it was getting up there. But basically, I remember going to LA at the end of my senior year, like again, and I was waking up like 5 a.m. for online school.
Wow.
For Zoom.
Dang, how was that?
It was pretty rough.
Yeah,
everybody was like, "Why are you doing this?"
Because it's
I couldn't afford to like miss any more days. So yeah.
Hey man, it worked out great.
Yeah.
So with you going to Chapman University, how much are you working with like your business, Brendan Productions? How often do you get to work with projects with Brendan Productions, or like? Because I know you have stuff school related, which we'll talk about afterwards. But how much time do you put to Brendan Productions now?
So I was able to kind of revive my business and move it out to LA, which I was very grateful for. I was doing a lot of music work with different artists. I did music videos. I also did a lot of parties. I shot 3 weddings. And I was working a lot in the city in LA. So I was pretty lucky.
Who were some of the you were saying artists you worked with out there, like for music videos?
Just some up and coming rap artists. Yeah. and also some musicians. So
Oh, like
people
with
who play-
instruments.
Yeah,
Okay.
instruments.
How was that? Interesting.
It's kind of on the boring side, but it did pay really well. But it's one of those things that I'm able to tap into a new niche.
Yeah, and figure it out.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
that's good. So you do take everything normally that comes to you?
no, I do turn down some things. I turn down some editing work because it's just me sitting there and it's no hands on.
Not fun.
Yeah.
And that's like normally the work you'll turn down?
Mostly I try to do everything in person, but the things I turn down is the things that I don't have availability for.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you talk about availability, how like often is your schedule that packed?
It's not that packed right now just because of me leaving for a year
It's
and coming
summer.
back here. I'm switching businesses from the East Coast to the West Coast constantly. I have been working this summer though, and I have like 4 contracts right now. One for the Surf Mall OC, one for Great Bay.
Contracts.
Yeah.
So like what you like agree to work with them for?
Well, it's not sort of like that. We do have contracts, but it's like a weekly basis shooting.
Okay.
And I'm also working with a contractor in Margate, like I said, doing real estate.
Yeah.
And that's every week, and those are all pretty solid.
Damn, man, busy man, huh? Busy
Yeah.
man. And what? When you go back to the West Coast, you try and have to transition the business to the
It's
West
always
side?
like that. It's always slow, and then I just have to do marketing again, which has been pretty hard on me.
Yeah, like what do you do specifically for marketing? Because I'm sure a lot of your type of networking is connection based, like reaching out to certain individuals to connect you to a person. But I personally don't know. How is
Yeah.
the marketing structure for your type of field and business?
I do a lot of Facebook work.
Yeah, Facebook. Like
Because that's where a lot of clientele are. My mom helps me run my Facebook, and it's pretty good for business. But also Instagram DM helps a lot too.
well, you'll just DM someone and be like, hey.
No,
Oh.
they'll DM me. But I just have to make sure people know that I'm either in New Jersey or I'm in California. So,
Is there ever a time where people approach you and be like, damn, this kid's, what are you, 19, 20?
yeah. Well, it was crazy when I first started 15. They're like, "You're doing this at 15."
Yeah, like you.
But now when they say, "Oh, I'm doing this at 19," I'm like, "I'm getting old now."
Well, for you, to
Yeah.
them, you're still young, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
But like you've been doing this for so long, like do people ever still approach you like you're young for this? And you're like, nah, you have no clue. Like
Yeah.
I've been doing this for a bit now. How
Yeah.
often does that occur with your type of
It happens a lot actually because I'll be working with all adults in the room, and then it's just me. I'm 19, and then they're like, "Wait, you have a business?"
Is that like bombarding, or like not bombarding, but like annoying at some point? Because like I'm sure like to a certain point in certain areas, you're almost like somewhat of celebrity because people know you. People do know who you are and know the work you do. Does it ever like annoy you with how much people question you about it? Because you should, in your mind, do you ever think like, hey, they should know like what my work is, who I am, or do you rather just take it in a humble stance, like, hey, this is what I do. If you like it, check it out. You know, like let me know what you think. Is there ever certain scenarios like that? That might have been a hard way to put it. So we could, but what do you think?
So just say I'm going to like Ocean City. I know a lot of people see me there. If they say, "Oh, hey, you do the videos or something," I'm like, yeah. I'm really appreciative of it, and it's kind of cool how people actually like view my work. Like I'm just a videographer.
You're also a great guy, man. You're funny. Like people, like for people to get to know you, you are like we used to hang out.
Yeah.
Like you are a great guy. Besides the videography,
Thank you.
did you like? Do you ever allow people to see that part of you?
Yeah. Not that much, but I do post a lot on my Snapchat.
Mm-hmm.
Just people see my stories a lot, probably. But when I'm shooting videos, I guess I don't show a lot of my personality through there. But I do have a lot of friends, and they obviously know how I am.
Well, don't get me wrong. You're so much farther down the line with your business. But like even for this, I get the same questions. Like, hey, maybe like people should get to know you more often. Maybe you should talk a bit more, and like people get to know you. But like that's kind of hard. Like in
Yeah.
the moment, you know, like especially with you, you're behind the scenes, so it might be a bit harder. But for me, it's also hard because like this is me diving into your life. you know? So it's kind of hard for people to understand my side when I just like really want people to grow and flourish off the information that other individuals experience, you know? So I get what you're saying on that aspect of what you're like the topic.
Yeah.
100%. Now relating back to Chapman University, how busy are you there with work, and what type of work is it there? Because it is a film school. So
Yes.
what's going on there?
So when I'm at school at Chapman, it's crazy. I have a unique schedule, and I have like I operate at like pretty good efficiency throughout the day because I have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
I have university homework, schoolwork, studying, everything that goes academically with the school. And then the film school has certain different classes, and I have to either make a film or do something that pertains to that. And also on the weekends, I'm like, okay, let's go work. So
Yeah,
I go into LA, I shoot, I have to edit it, I have to do all that. But also on the weekend, I probably have homework too. So it's just a lot of like back and forth. Also, I joined the frat in college. I pledged and also worked and did all that. So
good. How do you balance out your life like that? That's like
it's a lot of balancing.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like with all that going on, you don't have a lot of like personal time. I feel like how often do you balance and structure your day? Like, is there like maybe on Sundays you don't do anything? Like, how do you balance life with everything going on?
Luckily, I'm able to just I have a lot of freedom with my business. It's not like I'm really locked in.
It's on your time.
Yeah. The work that I'm shooting now, I'm able to say, hey, can I do it tomorrow instead of today? Like I'm like with solid events, I used to never be able to do that, but now I kind of get the I'm able to make my own schedule basically.
Yeah, you're the CEO of your own business.
Man. Yeah. So that's helped a lot, and it's also just the summer I'm able to relax more while also work. But there's no schoolwork that I have to manage. So I'm not as busy now, but I did have some days where I'm able to just go out and enjoy my life. So I just try to keep it like that. I also snowboard a lot. So
I do notice that you do post that all the time.
Yeah.
That's how how often do you snowboard?
So that's a whole new thing. I started like senior year in high school, and right now I took it very seriously last year.
Like serious.
Yeah. I trained in the park, the terrain park, if you know what that is.
I don't know anything about snowboarding.
It's where you do tricks and try to do that stuff like the X Games.
What are you pulling off, huh? What are you pulling off?
I'm trying to learn stuff, but I would go like 1 or 2 times a week to the local mountain in California and actually train on the mountain.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how often is training for snowboarding?
It's like 1 or 2 times a week. Like
how long? Like a session?
A session's like 4 hours.
Oh, a long.
They're okay, the close ones, but the one that's like 5-hour drive away is literally insane. It's the biggest mountain I've ever seen in my life.
Any big trips you have planned for this winter? Wise?
I mean, I'm always going to that big mountain. It's called Mammoth, and it's insane.
What's the one in Vermont?
It's Killington.
Killington, yeah. You ever plan to go there?
It's very smaller than the one in California, so I'm gonna go out west. I'm gonna go to Colorado.
Smart. A boy of mine went there. Beautiful mountains. Beautiful. Especially for snowboarding, man. Oh my God. Colorado's got it all. Yeah. So what do you plan on doing after college? Like with everything film wise, or like what are your goals for after college with everything you do?
So that's a big question. I'm thinking about next year staying in California for the summer.
Okay.
Or it could go either way. I just don't know my future yet. I know that I have goals and things that I want to achieve.
What are some of the goals?
My dream is to work in marketing and advertising and have a company that works directly with businesses to make like commercials for their business.
Like advertisements and all?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like, would you work with the business or would you make it your own? Like, would someone contact you, hey, I want this commercial done. Boom. Got it. You go there, you shoot the commercial, have them in a week, and that's how it works?
Yeah. So I have one business, but I can work with plenty of businesses. So these businesses don't have a film company.
Okay.
They go to me to say, hey, I want a commercial, and then I'll be like, okay, for this amount, I'll put it all together and then send it off to you.
Just like that. And this
Yeah.
is going on like currently. This happens often to you? Right?
I mean, I do have that sort of work, but I want to do it at a higher level.
Yeah.
You know?
And higher level, you mean like equipment wise, like production wise?
Yeah, that too. It comes with everything. I want to have like a 50-person team one day. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey man, I respect it. I want
Yeah.
the same thing. How much of like is there ever a point where you're like, damn, like not that this is getting hard, but I got a lot on my shoulders. Like it sounds like you have a lot going on. Like, is there ever a time where you're like, oh, I don't think I could do this? Like, what keeps you going at the end of the day every day?
I definitely have those points where I'm like, wow, I got a lot going on right now. But I kind of just always been able to push through and just know that I'm able to do it. I guess what keeps me going is just the passion, I guess, because it's not like I'm like, oh, I have to do this. I kind of like doing it.
Yeah, does
so,
it ever feel like actual work?
some things do, some things don't. But I always try to mix in the things that I really like doing, so I never get bored like that. So I think that's what keeps me going, just able to do what I want and then
Yeah.
also do things for businesses and clients on the side too.
Personally, what's your favorite type of like thing to do with your work? What's your favorite like way to shoot, or like you said, like a passion project, or like just have fun with it? Like what do you have fun with most in your field of stuff, like work?
Well, when I first started making videos, it was always just me going out to a certain place with my friends and just videoing it and having a good time. I think those videos, I love those because it's just like authentic.
It's real. It's
Yeah.
real. There's a script.
Yeah.
Yeah, huh? That's always an interesting question to me because I know like a lot of people like film wise, like you said, like have to do paid work. Like that's a huge thing with directors. Why I like directors so much because I feel like they have a lot of say in how they actually shoot a video in their vision.
Yeah.
Is there any like outlook for you? Would you ever want to shoot a movie?
Yeah, so I'm in film production school, and my emphasis will be directing.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
So whether it's directing commercials, music videos, TV shows, movies, it's all directing, just in different niches.
What is it about directing specifically that draws your attention to it? What drags you into that sort of specific aspect of that field?
Well, I know how to turn a camera on, operate it, do audio work, drone work, everything. But the one thing that ties it together is just my vision
Yeah.
and just putting all these skills together. And instead of putting all the skills together just from my own self, I want to do that. Just managing other people. I feel like I'd be a good person at just managing a project and keeping a vision, and shooting it in a specific way where it would be good.
I really think you would be good at that too, because I feel like you specifically, you get the job done. Like
Yeah.
you don't mess around. Like you do what you have to do, and I feel like when you like, if you were to direct it, you could get that emphasis around. People would understand, like, hey, he's putting us in the right direction. Let's listen to him and let's get the job done.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you should personally have a lot of confidence in that because you've done it so many times, not only with your work but other people's work as well. I'm sure. Like that's something me just like referring to you as a friend, like you should really try and do because I know personally you get to work.
Yeah.
You know what to do. You know how to do it right.
Thank you.
And that's
Yeah.
a big thing. Do it right.
Yes.
Like,
So good directors are really well-rounded and they can do anything that pertains to film. So
And that's you, man.
Yeah.
That's you 100%.
thank you.
Of course. Now, when you're like going about all this, you're in school now. Do people ever I know people do. How often do people come to you for advice within the field?
I know on my Instagram I get a lot of DMs asking about different questions. I was actually going to make a course this summer, to help people because I get so many questions.
Make a Discord, man. Make a
Yeah,
Discord.
yeah. But at school, like a decent amount of people because my college isn't able to just deny everyone who has no experience.
Yeah.
They see the best in everyone. So some people coming into college may not be as experienced as me. So I'm able to just help them out. But there's also been people who are very experienced and have helped me out even too, because I'm always down to learn some new technique that they have.
Is there ever a person that you look up to in your field? Like, who's like, do you have an idol within your field? Who is it?
I've always had idols, different YouTubers in the past, but when I'm looking for inspiration, I just find people who are doing something that I want to do one day. And
so there's not someone specific?
No, I just look at good work and I appreciate it. But I definitely realize that I definitely just bring different techniques into my videos that I see off the internet too. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
What do you think your favorite video is on your Instagram? Because if you want, we could pull it up and we could show people. That's up to you. What is your favorite video you have put out on the Brendan Productions Instagram?
There's a lot of them. Maybe
you want to bring it up?
Yeah, we can.
All right. What do you want to bring up?
The prep semi video. That was my favorite one. But probably the My Year 2022 also.
My Year 2022?
No, My Year 2020.
My Year 2020. Yeah. Oh, also. Okay.
But the prep semi one was probably my favorite.
We'll play both. Both. Because I know the prep semi one was lit.
Yeah.
And then this will be on the screen. We're going to be able to present it on the screen for them. All right, everyone looking. This is Brendan's favorite video on his Brendan Productions Instagram. Admire this.
Luke Hendricks.
Weezy, back home smoking legal. I got more slaps than the Beatles. Running on diesel, dog. Playing with my name, this lethal, dog. Who you see? What? Don Corleone. Trust me, at the top it isn't lonely. Watch me stress it. Then I press it. I'm on my dog, fight with my dog, yeah. Shoot with my dog, yeah. I want you to die, I want you to die, yeah. She all in my life.
How long did it take you to make something like that?
So the shooting is fine, and I go to the event for like, I don't know, 3-4 hours. But when I come back home, that took me like 8 hours to edit.
8 hours to edit?
Yeah.
Like you just sat down one day and knocked it all out, or did you split it up?
It depends on the video. Sometimes I like to split it up, and then most of the time I'll just knock it out. But like I take like little breaks.
You have to, man.
Yeah.
That's thing. Well,
yeah. My favorite.
What is it? Hermit Fest.
This video was tough.
Go ahead.
Let's do. We'll play it whatever we want. All right, we'll play this. Then we'll play 2021.
That was a good day.
I love when it's hot. Turn to the city, I bump out the night. That's how many I keep me a knot. I created history, it made me a lot. He tried to diss me and it don't false. We call him Chaucer cause they gonna chop. Took her out of filers cause of pop. I run it like Nike, we got it on lock. Cardiac, I'm the boss man in a suit with no tie. I can't be sober, I gotta stay high. Put me some syrup in the counter that's dry. Riding the special like Bunny and Clyde. Don't worry, baby, I keep me so fine. Shenanigans and brothers, she cannot decide. The ladies, Mercedes, will go to surprise. Don't sleep on Miss Lady, help your pride. Taking her back while I'm gripping her side. Looking back, this ain't real.
Can you play My Year 2020?
Yeah.
This like showcases like everything. It's up.
So say it again.
No, yeah. It showcases pretty much like my reel, which is like everything that I did in the year. It's right there. Yeah. The dude on the pole.
What is guys, it's Brendan and this is my year 2020.
Most of these people aren't influencers. Like TikTokers, yeah.
You were big with them, right?
I still am a little bit. Yeah, those are all influencers too. Did you see Michael Keegan?
How long did that take that?
That took a while too, around 12 hours.
God, there's a lot of videos in that, dude. Mashed up. I didn't realize how many were in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is
Thank you,
art.
guys.
Man, everything you do is art, man. Everything you do is art. How do you like when you do the music and like all the edits? Do you have a song prepared, like before you even know what you're doing, or do you like you have a song and you cut it up as you go on throughout the song?
Yeah.
How does like the actual editing and production go about with these type of videos?
So sometimes I'll use a new song, and when it comes out, I'm like, oh yeah, I need to use that song for a video.
Yeah.
And then I'll save it, or I'll already have. Well, I'm already looking for songs constantly for new videos because I just need them.
Yeah.
So I'll be looking for videos and just saving them. And if I see that a video of an event would match a song,
Yeah.
I'll already pre-send it to the client and say, is this okay? And then it helps so much because I'm able to shoot in a different tempo to the song and just have that in mind already before I get to shoot.
Like while you're shooting it, you're like, all right, maybe I can match this up with like a beat drop, or stuff like that.
So I already,
What's the longest it ever taken you to make a video, like edit a video? Like you said, 8 to 12 hours for like 2 of those.
Yeah, I've had like 5-day edits because
5-day edits.
Yeah, that was one of my longest ones because I get a lot of revisions with clients too.
Okay, I see what you're saying there.
Yeah.
Or like they might like want you to switch something up.
Yeah.
Okay. Like personally, Brendan Productions, your own business. Where do you see it going the rest of college and like afterwards, the transition in the real world? Where do you see your personal business going?
So I think that I'll always be able to grow the business and just keep with it, and whatever I do along the line. I think that's just the goal, to keep on growing it, keep on doing projects, and just keep pushing.
Well, do you think it could eventually lead into what you truly want to do, like directing wise and like advertisement and commercial wise? Do you think it could possibly transition into that?
I think it can definitely transition as long as I keep putting out good work and just keep growing.
Mm-hmm. What now? When you say putting in the work and keep growing, what are some of the main areas you'd like to grow in more and like really knock out of the park and ace within your field? Is there specific aspects of the film production and videography world that you want to keep working on and bettering yourself in?
I think continuing to just keep a diverse portfolio and just keep expanding. What I want to do is just have more employees that are working for me on a daily basis, and expanding the business that way will help. And I'll be able to get to where I want to be through that.
Yeah, and do you think it'll take a while? Like, or do you think it'll like the way you think you could structure it? Do you think it'll take, say, if you were to look at a time frame, would you rather say 5 or 10 years where you see it going?
I'm not worried about the time frame.
Okay.
As long as as I see improvement. I'm not really looking to make a lot of money very quickly. I'm just trying to grow it naturally and just be where I want to be by putting the work in, not really just pushing things and stressing things.
Don't rush it, brother.
Yeah.
Be real. Be authentic. Don't rush it. Stay patient with it.
Yeah.
You've done that so far. I say very, very, very well. Continue it. Keep doing you.
Yeah.
What do you think is your biggest strong suit? So if someone was to approach you like a business and they were like, why should we choose you to do the media for the commercial? Like, what makes you stand out, and why should like a company look at you rather than others?
Yeah, well, it's I have a camera and it's just my camera pointing at things, but it's really my vision
Mhm.
that I carry out. If a company or client or whoever wants a video and they want it a certain way, I'm able to deliver and give them what they want.
No matter what it is, you can do it.
Yeah,
Do you think that's what like companies should look at? Like you said, diverse. You've
Yeah.
done it all. You can do it all. Like, yeah. Don't look at me as your average video guy who can do one type of variety of production video. I can do it all.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing about you, 100%.
thank you.
Outside of like videography, and like besides videography, what are some of your hobbies and interests you're also in? Because like you said, snowboarding. Is there anything else that you have interest in? Like anything?
I don't have that many hobbies actually. Like I said, snowboarding has been one of my biggest hobbies, but now I think I just like hanging out with friends, enjoying time, enjoying college is something that I've been grateful to do. And it's basically just been work, and I also do shoot videos for fun too. So,
How
Yeah.
often do you get to shoot videos for fun?
I try to do it as often as possible.
Mm-hmm.
For my Instagram or even just for me.
Fair enough. You got to keep that balanced life.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm with you on that because I'm
Mhm.
trying to do the same thing. How much of a taste of music do you have? Because like you need music for everything you're involved with.
Yeah.
So like, what's your personal taste of music, and how do you try to relate that to the videos you produce for others?
I am able to use a lot of personal music for my own work. But
Favorite artist? Go.
oh, this is hard.
Favorite artist?
Probably no, I can't. I like a lot of Future.
Future? Really?
Yeah,
You don't hear that from a lot of people our age because
Yeah.
they say like he was like a huge person with the era behind us. But you're a big Future guy, huh?
yeah, definitely.
I respect it, man. I respect.
Yeah.
You use a lot of Future songs with your worker now.
Not too much. Not
Yeah.
too much. But when I'm looking for songs for different companies, it's with their interests in mind, what they're trying to push. So like a gym video has a lot of hype music, and it may be a little bit more electronic, rather than a business that's trying to promote just like a product. It'll just be like, a little thing that I find off.
You got to fit the theme, of course.
Yeah,
You got to
yeah.
fit the theme. So 100%. Now the next question I'm about to ask you. I ask every guest this. Every guest. You can take your time on it. I'm
Okay.
going to elaborate. I'm going to give you a few examples. What is one thing on this earth you know is 100% real? One thing on this earth you know is 100% real. So for example, Vin, his was love. So like he knows like the feeling and affection of love that you can have towards something or someone is 100% real. Another example is like evolution. Marissa's, she knows like over time, no matter whether it's good or bad, everything evolves. Everything like can go 0 to 100 or 0 to a negative 100. Everything evolution is real over time. Me, for example, I say the Egyptian pyramids were not 100% like human made. So like it wasn't the average human making those pyramids. They had to have something like not humane to make them like the average person. So whether it was like telepathically, the pulley system they talk about, like the average human, like us picking up the stones, did not make those pyramids. Those are just a few examples. It could
Yeah.
be like El Marcos was science, and he had two. Science and everything happens for a reason. Those were his two. What is something you know is 100% real on this earth?
I think something that's 100% real on this earth is everyone has a purpose, and everybody makes an impact larger than you may think.
Okay. Well, elaborate. So, like, you think everyone was put on this planet for a reason?
Like that, yeah. But just daily life, everybody has a purpose. Like whatever you do in life, like if you do that, you may have a bigger impact than you even know.
Would you say that elaborates like with passion?
Yeah,
Like, there's
yeah.
definitely a passion.
If you're able to do something that you really like and you're able to touch others, I feel like people just look at it like, oh, I'm just a small person on this bigger. You're able to actually make an impact.
Bigger than you actually think.
Yeah.
I like that, man. I like that because I feel like a lot of people, if they hear that, they'll look at themselves and be like, "What do I do great?" or "What do I love that I do great?" and work on it and work on it and work on it until like they see that they can make a change. So, like for example, I 100% agree with that with the podcast. I truly think this can make a bigger impact on individuals that listen to it all around, like from every variety of life, and take something from it and grow. I like that answer a lot, man. And for you, you could really see that like you mean it because you've lived it almost. You really saw how much of an impact your videos could have to the world. So I think that answer fit you perfectly, to be honest with you.
Thank you.
Of course. Now, we are just going to start to wrap this up just because I've work later on. Stuff's getting hectic. Is there anything you personally want to say to anyone like trying to get involved within the media and production field, videography? Like, what type of advice do you think you could have for them?
I think videography is amazing as long as you have the passion for it.
Yeah.
You're able to just keep on growing and growing every day. And the best way to learn is just get out there and actually do it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely doable. You just have to be very, very consistent and just try your best always.
Try your best always. Stay consistent. I like it. He's been working on this type of stuff for years, folks. So you're taking it from a man who knows the stuff.
Yes, thank you.
Brendan, thank you. Thank you for coming on. I appreciated it a lot.
I had a good time.
I had a great time as well. It was a great conversation. I'm sure people take from it, grow from it. People got to see who you are as well, which is a huge thing, I think, for people. I appreciate you for coming on, Brendan. It means the world. Any last comments? Any last notes you want to say?
I think I'm good.
You set?
Thank you for watching.
Always. Thank you, everybody. Hope you enjoy the Offscouring Odyssey. Peace and love.